Hello, my most amazing artists. How are you today?
Ready to create!
Awesome, let's get started. I am so happy you are here today, ready to create with me. The word of the week is shape. When I say the word shape, or when you hear me say the word shape, I want you to say, whoop, whoop. Let's give it a try. Shape. Very good. Shape is one of the elements of art. Shape is an enclosed area. It has height and width. There are geometric shapes like you know. Triangle, circle, and square. Also, you have a rectangle. These shapes are geometric. But you can also have organic shapes. Organic shapes are more free-flowing. Sometimes they look like a blob or a cloud. Those are organic shapes. We're going to be cutting out some shapes from paper and getting started with that very soon. But before we do, we are going to take a look at our artist inspiration for the day. Reginald Laurent is our inspiration for today. He lives in Georgia. Georgia's in the United States. Let's take a closer look at some of his artworks. And when you see that line, shapes, and colors, give a thumbs up so I know that you recognize them. Let's check them out. As you know, Reginald Laurent lives in Georgia, but he was born in Chicago. He has been painting since 1986, and his favorite medium is acrylic paint. When he starts an artwork, he paints the entire canvas black, and then he creates the shapes with white gesso. Once he's done that, he fills in the areas with colored shapes, and then adds all the details. His last step is to draw a white line that is laced through the entire picture like one continuous line threaded straight through. I hope you enjoyed Reginald Laurent's artwork as much as I do. Get ready, it's time to create. What you will need is a pencil, a piece of paper. I'm going to use a black piece of paper, but if you don't have black, you can get white or a piece of loose leaf. We'll just trim off the edges. And then you're also going to need colored paper if you have scraps, if you have colored construction paper. Really, anything you can find will work.
Anything?
Yes, anything. Literally anything. If you have a box and you have pieces of cardboard, you can use that. If you can find an old bag, you can use this. Newspaper, literally anything you can find will work for this project. You're also going to need some glue. Either a bottled glue or a glue stick will work. You'll need some markers. And you will also need either crayons or pastels. You can get a box of crayons handy or some crayons you can find around the house, or oil pastels will work nicely. Make sure you gather all these items, and then we're going to get right back here and get started. Back it up. Scissors. Don't forget the scissors. All right, let's get started. You want to get started by drawing geometric and organic shapes on your colored construction paper, newspaper, cardboard, whatever you have found. Once you've drawn all of your geometric and organic shapes, it's time to cut them out. You want to free each shape from each other first by cutting just quickly around each shape. Then, once you've done that, you want to go in and then do the smaller detailed areas to cut them out more precise. When you're cutting, you can notice that my right hand is just moving the scissors up and down while my left hand turns the paper to be cut. As I am cutting out each individual shape, I am looking at the black paper and trying to decide where I will place each piece, thinking about balance, keeping the same amount of shapes on the right side as the left, thinking about unity, repetition, and movement. Once you've finalized your composition, you want to start gluing down your pieces. Be careful to make sure there's glue on all edges so that it sticks to your paper and does not fall off. When I told you you could create your shapes out of anything, I really meant anything. You can see I'm using old cardboard, a paper bag, old newspaper to draw and cut out my shapes. Get creative. Anything will work. Don't forget, you can glue your shapes onto anything you can find. It doesn't have to be black construction paper. Now it's time to add our lines. Remember, abstract art includes lines, shapes, and color, baby, color. The fun thing about abstract art is everyone sees something different. You might see a face in my artwork. Somebody might see a snail or an arrow or a video game controller I think I see up there. The fun thing about abstract art is that it has a different meaning for everyone who looks at it. And everyone sees something different. Now that all of my lines are added, it's time to add the last and final step. You can use a white color pencil or a white oil pastel or even a white crayon. Like I said, if you didn't have a black piece of construction paper, you can draw your line in black instead. Get creative. Use your imagination. Anything goes. You can see I'm very, very, very carefully trying to use one continuous line throughout my entire artwork. It feels like it's a maze and I'm trying to find my way out. I'm going around and around each and every shape with a white line. This is a lot of work. My hand's actually getting really, really sore because I'm pressing really, really hard to make sure a lot of that white pigment goes right onto the paper. Do you think I'll be able to use one continuous line through my entire project? It's very tricky, but I know you can do it. I love that we had the opportunity to be inspired by Reginald Lawrence's artwork. He was once asked if he could spend an afternoon talking about art with anyone, who would it be? He picked Romare Bearden or William H. Johnson, also artists. Who would you pick to spend an afternoon talking with? And what would you talk about? He was also asked if he had any tips for aspiring artists who wanted to create abstract art. His answer was that in abstract art, there is no right or wrong. Express yourself, do what makes you happy, and most of all, have fun. I hope you had as much fun as I did working on your Reginald Lawrence inspired abstract artwork. What I want you to do now that you're finished, I want you to look at your artwork and I want you to think about the entire lesson and think of 3 things overall that you learned. For example, one thing I learned is that Reginald Lawrence is a contemporary artist. I've also learned the difference between geometric and organic shapes. And lastly, the 3rd thing I learned is that abstract art includes line, shape, and color, baby, color. Looking at my artwork, 2 things that I'm proud of are the colors I've used, and I really like that I was able to use so many shapes. Can you believe I have a little less than 50 shapes on this project? One thing that I might have changed or done differently, or I might think about this for next time, is to have just one color scheme. What if this picture was all warm colors, reds, oranges, and yellows? Or what if it was cool colors, greens, blues, and purples? Would that change the feeling of this artwork? The last thing I want you to do is name your artwork. I don't know. Name mine for me and email me and let me know what you think. I also want to show you, if you had only a piece of loose leaf, you could still have worked on this project. This has probably not as many shapes as I would have liked. When you're working on your project, try to have at least 20 shapes. This only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shapes. It could have had a little more, but I love how the space was all still covered, and it actually is unified through the lines. So if you didn't have a black piece of paper, you can still have done something like this, and it is just as fabulous. I am so excited to see what you have come up with for this project. So please take a picture, send me an email, and let me see what you've created. And I can't wait till we can create again next time. Stay creative and talk soon. Bye.